One issue, 2 points of view. Agora.
Our public television recording from Euronews will start soon.
Europe's battle against climate change was a key topic at this year's Green European Summer University. It was also at the heart a debate between these two men. Andrzej Liszka, the Czech Minister for Education, and Piotr Serafin, who's one of the Under-Secretaries for the Polish Committee on European Integration. Both men are concerned whether Europe can find common ground before next December's UN Framework Convention on Climate Change in the Polish city of Poznan. In this edition of Agora, the two tackled sensitive issues such as convincing industries to go green, whether the CO2 emission trading scheme is fair, and Europe's costly dependency on foreign energy.
Well, very soon the Poznan conference will start, and I don't know if in Poland, but in Czechia there are not very big expectations on a breakthrough. Well, we as Greens, being a part of a conservative government, have quite a difficult position, finding that the European Commission proposal is very progressive. We are very much favoring it, but at the same time the conservative part of our government is pulling the brakes and saying it can discriminate the Czech industry. It is not ready to invest so much money in energy efficiency and other measures.
Clearly the debate in Poland is concentrated these days on the package which was proposed by the European Commission, and the focus of attention is on as in the Czech Republic, I will say to a large extent, on the issue of electricity prices and the impact of electricity prices on fuel poverty and on the competitiveness of the industry, but not just Polish industry, but generally speaking European industry. And I guess that from that angle we look into the event which is going to take place in Poznan, because that is unfortunately the fact. We cannot do much as Europeans alone. We should convince others, but they should follow.
Well, of course, the energy security is another issue that's being discussed very much, not only related to the recent events, but also, well, it was like 2 weeks ago where the pipelines coming from Russia have stopped, and there was a big alarm in the Czech Republic saying, is it something political or is it just a unforeseeable event? Well, but you can really see in the society that the energy issues, not only in terms of prices, but in terms of mobility, in terms of energy efficiency, in terms of investment, is becoming more and more issue.
That's for sure, but when we look into the package we have renewables, and I guess that the part on the renewables is not that much controversial in Poland, because clearly that's our future. Secondly, we have efficiency, and that again is not really contested. The most controversial piece of the package is the emission trading scheme.
Yes.
And the way it is going to work. We would rather say that there is a lot of uncertainty and there are serious risks that the prices will increase much more dramatically than we can expect reading impact assessment by the Commission. So that's the key point. And when we talk about the electricity prices, there is already a lot of instability here, and Europe is probably going to have a few difficult years ahead.
One maybe thing from a political perspective again is that some of the new member states have criticized the European Commission for being not fair, especially from what point to start to count the CO2 and, of course, the whole emission trading system as a base for the future policy. But at the same time, I need to remind ourselves that there are billions of euros being invested in the next 7 years going to these new member states, and a huge part of these billions will be invested in infrastructure. I think it's also our challenge and our responsibility to really see how sustainable this infrastructure should be, and apply the most, let's say, up-to-date measures to this infrastructure. And I think this again is a favor for the new member states and not an unfair treatment from the European Commission. So let's see. I think the autumn will be very hot. if I may use the energy vocabulary. And definitely the Czech government is now discussing as one of the top priorities the energetic climate package and getting ready for the round in Poznan.
Again, there are a number of studies which would suggest that the climate package as it is right now, the emission trading scheme as it is right now, will promote, in particular by 2020, the switch from coal to gas. That would increase the dependence on external suppliers of gas.
Well, Poland will play, as usual, a very important role in the debate on energy dependence relation towards Russia. Well, maybe the next months will also give us answer on how should we frame the relations with Russia at all, and maybe also a very important political thing or aspect of this. In the Czech Republic, we have, as you, become members in 2004. Okay, people have experienced the Schengen space, a lot of, let's say, very positive changes in terms of being membership.
I would say
but
only positive changes.
Only positive until now. And but the energy issue, the energy debates, is something that really is opening the eyes of people and seeing what are the what we are actually members of and how powerful we can be, but also how weak we can be if we do not stick together.
I'm deeply convinced that those issues are so important and might have such big consequences for the economies and societies. We can only compare it, I'm not sure, single market, European economic and monetary union. I mean, this sort of scale of consequences. And therefore, I think that the best thing we should have in the incoming few months is reflection. Let's come back to the data. Let's look whether it all adds up and whether we are on the best way to achieve the goals which we all share.
I'm sure energy and climate will be a big issue of the next European elections. So we'll see if we get the mandate to go and take much progressive steps than we have done until now.